I have to admit, I just find this story really hard to believe. Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. If you are new here, welcome. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you're returning, welcome back. I appreciate your continued support, and I hope that you are subscribed as well, particularly if you are watching on Rumble, because we do need to support platforms that support free speech. So yesterday, or maybe the day before, I don't know. It all kind of runs together. The story came out about a situation with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, and the headline read, "Shaken. Meghan Markle, Prince Harry involved in a near-fatal paparazzi chase in New York City." I'm pretty sure that headline caught our attention all pretty much for the same reason, because this is Prince Harry, and we know what happened to Princess Diana in 1997, that it was the paparazzi chasing her car, and I think there were other circumstances involved that led to this car accident that caused her death. So of course, we want to know if Prince Harry is living through a similar situation, and if that's the case, what happened and what are the details. But unfortunately, due to the track record of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, they are known to not exactly tell the truth about a lot of things. And not only that, they have been known to embellish stories to, I don't know, bring more attention to themselves, despite the fact that they keep insisting they want their privacy, whether it be to add to this victimhood narrative, because apparently being a victim just seems to be their brand at this point. Whatever the reason, they have several stories that they have told that have been later debunked or disproven, or, you know, other people that were involved in the situation have come out and said, yeah, that didn't happen. There was a story that Meghan told, I believe it was on her podcast at one point, where when baby Archie was really little, she and Harry were at an event with the royals, and they got a phone call from home saying that there was a fire in the nursery, which was Archie's room, and Meghan wanted to go home and be with her baby, but the royal family told Meghan she couldn't go because the next engagement that they were scheduled for was more important than going home and being with her child and making sure that he was okay. Come to find out later that the situation was that there was an electrical outlet in the room that started smoking or sparking or something like that, and Archie was nowhere near it. So, yeah. Another story that Meghan told a while ago was that she and Harry were attending a live performance of The Lion King, and afterwards, one of the actors came up to Meghan Markle and told her that when they had found out that a black woman or a biracial woman was marrying into the royal family, that they all danced in the street as if they were celebrating Nelson Mandela. Come to find out that this didn't happen, that the actors, none of them approached the royal couple at all. None of them had any recollection of having this conversation. And I think it came out that either Prince Harry and Meghan Markle weren't even at the show, or it didn't happen at the location that they said it was. Either way, it was completely debunked. And it's just fascinating that, you know, they continue to come out with these stories without considering the fact that if you're going to tell a story, particularly involving other people, you have to be sure that the other people involved are going to corroborate what you said, because if their account doesn't match yours, it's going to make you look like a liar. So this is from an article on page 6, just after this happened. It says, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are extremely upset and shaken after being involved in a near-catastrophic 2-hour paparazzi chase in New York City on Tuesday night. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, who were traveling with Markle's mom, Doria Ragland, were pursued by photographers after leaving the Ziegfeld Theater, where the former actress was honored by Gloria Steinem at the Woman of Vision Awards in Manhattan. The trio left the event in an SUV around 10 p.m. and were immediately followed by around 12 paparazzi, we're told. They eventually decided to ditch their original vehicle and jump into a yellow cab in hopes of evading the photographers, a source claims. The insider alleges that one cameraman hit a car while another almost ran over an NYPD officer during the near-fatal chase. A rep for the Sussexes claimed to Page Six Wednesday, last night the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Ms. Ragland were involved in a near-catastrophic car chase at the hands of a ring of highly aggressive paparazzi. This relentless pursuit, lasting over 2 hours, resulted in multiple near collisions involving other drivers on the road, pedestrians, and 2 NYPD officers. While being a public figure comes with a level of interest from the public, it should never come at the cost of anyone's safety. So first there was footage of them leaving the event, and you can see a lot of cameras flashing, a lot of pictures being taken, trying to get their attention. Seems pretty standard for an event where there would be celebrities. And then there was footage of them once they got into this cab, and you can see kind of the situation that is happening around them.
Guys, I need some space, please.
Yes, sir.
Guys, let's get some space, okay?
So what I find interesting in this clip, while they're in the cab, all of these people are taking pictures surrounding the vehicle. I can imagine, especially for Meghan's mom, if she's not used to stuff like that, that would probably make her really nervous. But, eventually the bodyguard steps in and says, okay, that's enough. And everybody steps back and they drive off. And as they're driving straight, they keep going, and the New York police officers turn the corner. So right there, the story is unraveling a little bit. And then Mayor Eric Adams comes out with his own statement.
I would find it hard to believe that there was a 2-hour high-speed chase. That would be, I find it hard to believe, but we will find out the exact duration of it. But if it's 10 minutes, a 10-minute chase is extremely dangerous in New York City.
So I actually think it's really funny that Mayor Adams would come out and say, I could see this going on for maybe 10 minutes. And even then it seemed like a stretch. That 10-minute time frame even seemed like a stretch for him to say. Like, it's not even close to this 2-hour idea that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are putting out there. And that is because if you have ever spent even 5 minutes in New York or in the Manhattan area, you know how congested it is. You know that there are shoulder-to-shoulder people all hours of the day. I understand that this was late at night, but New York City is one of the busiest cities I have ever been to in my life. And there was no possible way for a car chase to go through that city lasting longer than maybe a couple of city blocks because of all the congestion, because of all the cars, because of all the people, because there are stoplights, it seems like every 6 feet. Which is why so many people do use public transportation, because trying to drive around New York City is virtually impossible, and it is nothing but frustration. So Mayor Adams is like, I could see 10 minutes, if that. So you would think that if Meghan and Harry were going to come out with this story, they would at least present something that would be believable. So in a follow-up article, I think this came out today, of course, more details are coming out. It says the New York Police Department did assist Harry and Meghan's security team as they were making their way from the theater to the place where they were staying. It says there were numerous photographers that made their transport challenging, a police spokesperson recalled of the ordeal. Challenging is not the same as catastrophic or near fatal, by the way. It says the Duke and Duchess of Sussex arrived at their destinations and there were no reported collisions, summonses, injuries, or arrests in regard. An NYPD source told the Post that no 911 calls were made either. The high-ranking police insider added, "We only had one car as part of this. The chase definitely wasn't 2 hours." It's just not coming together. And it is really sad that we have to look at this and say, what the heck were you thinking in putting this out there? Because You know that the New York Police Department is going to have to come out and make a statement about this, especially if there's people's lives that were in danger, if one of their officers was almost run over, if this really was this catastrophic event that you made it out to be that lasted 2 hours. Like, this involves law enforcement, and they are going to know whether or not this actually happened. So if you follow the royals at all, and I don't blame you if you don't, I don't follow them that closely, but when I get really tired of listening to the politics and all the craziness going on in the world, and I just want something mindless to listen to as I'm doing other things, I will tune into channels that do just cover the royals exclusively. So sometimes I feel like I kind of know a little bit more than most people, but it's not a bad thing if you don't pay that much attention to them. But there have been a lot of people that have said in the past that Meghan Markle will stage these incidents with the paparazzi, and I think it's because they're not being pursued in the way that they thought they would.
We want privacy! We want privacy!
I honestly think that Meghan Markle thought that by marrying a prince, she would get more attention than what she has gotten. She wanted to be part of the A-list Hollywood celebrity group, part of the elite, and she thought that by marrying a prince and then moving him to the middle of one of the wealthiest zip codes within the Hollywood elite, that people would be seeking her out and trying to get her attention far more than they actually have. Turns out not that many people care about what's going on with Meghan and Harry, which is why they constantly have to get out there and claim to be victims so that people will feel sorry for them. So this is where I think this idea of staging these things with the paparazzi has come in, because she's not getting this attention. But if she can get the paparazzi to take a few photos of her, interest will generate interest, and I think she's hoping it'll get the ball rolling, it'll get things moving, and then people will start naturally seeking her out and wanting her photo and wanting to put her out there. But I don't think it's working, because people don't like it when you're fake. They don't like it when when it's obvious that everything you're doing is just to get attention. That's actually a huge turnoff for people, and that makes people want to see you less. But Harry and Meghan are never going to get that message. They are just going to keep pushing. But I do think one of these staged events happened a couple of weeks ago during the King's coronation, when Meghan sent Harry to the UK to go to this event by himself and to deal with the negativity and the backlash by himself. She stayed home. I think she said that she wanted to celebrate Archie's birthday, which I don't know if it's true or not. But over that weekend, she did go hiking with some friends, and there were these photos that were said to be the paparazzi taking pictures of her while she was hiking, but they look so unnatural and so incredibly staged that, to me, it does fall in with this idea that these were set up. I mean, if you look at what she's wearing for this hike, it's almost like Meghan has never been hiking in her life, and she thought in her head, what do people wear when they go hiking? And this is what she came up with. And to me, she looks like a tourist. I have never seen anybody go hiking with this hat and these big glasses and this scarf. It just looks silly, but it looks so fake and so set up that there's nothing natural about it. And, we've seen pictures of celebrities hiking. We've seen them out and about doing their thing, and there's just something more natural about what they're doing versus what she's doing here. And this hike, I believe, was in an area around her house, which is about 2 hours away from Los Angeles. So when you think about the fact that this is Meghan Markle and it's 2 hours away from where the paparazzi normally hang out, I find it really hard to believe that they would drive 2 hours just to get a photo of her. When you think about all of these other high-profile celebrities that the paparazzi do chase on a regular basis, we've seen a lot of J.Lo and Ben Affleck in the media recently. There seems to be a little bit of conflict going on in their relationship, but there's a lot of photos of them, but they're at these big events or they're out in the middle of, Beverly Hills. They're not chasing Ben Affleck and J.Lo into the mountains or in areas that are, really far outlying from the city. So if they're not going to chase J.Lo and Ben Affleck for these things, there's definitely no way that they're going to chase Meghan Markle to get a photo of her in the middle of nowhere, 2 hours from home base. So again, the whole thing just seems really, really sketchy. I really honestly think the best thing for Meghan Markle and Harry would just be to lay low for a little bit, to just kind of disappear for a little bit. We saw all the negativity that happened around Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, and Amber Heard, it turns out from what it looks like, pretty much everything that she said was false. And instead of coming out and consistently trying to prove to the public that she's an honest person or that she's worthy of our attention, she's kind of just lay low and let the dust settle. And I do think that that'll be a good thing for her if she ever does want to come back into the spotlight. But Harry and Meghan just seem to consistently just push and push and push and push. And it's really off-putting to people. The more that they push and the more insincere and unnatural everything looks around them and how staged it all looks and how forced it all looks, the less people want to see them. I think if they were just out living their lives and just being normal and just going about their day-to-day business, you know, that would leave something to the imagination. That would leave something for people to be curious about. But at this point, people just want them to stop. People just want them to be quiet. People just want them to stop talking and to stop whining and to just zip it. And I do have to say, I think it's really unfortunate that it appears that this situation with them and the paparazzi was pretty embellished. Not that I'm saying they weren't uncomfortable, not that I'm saying that especially Meghan Markle's mom wasn't uncomfortable, especially if not used to stuff like this, but to call it a catastrophic situation or near fatal crash, to me that is so distasteful and disrespectful, especially considering what happened to Princess Diana. You would think that there would be at least some boundary to say that this is not an area that we are going to mess with. And it just seems that they have no boundaries about the things that they are going to be deceptive about. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below, or leave an emoji in the comments below. Be sure that you like this video because that does help me with the algorithm. If you feel like supporting the channel by tipping the channel, there is a little thank you button where you can do that. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Bye.